Hello dear children, in the previous class we were discussing about the makeup of cells. Basically cell is made up of three different structures: cell membranes, cytoplasm, nucleus. Cell membrane two types, cell wall and then plasma membrane. Their differences we have seen in the previous class, and also we have seen the characteristics of cell membranes, characteristics of cytoplasm. Cytoplasm means cell liquid, and in cytoplasm is a viscous liquid, we have learned in the previous class. And characteristics of nucleus. Nucleus is found within the cell and floating in the cytoplasm. And what and all present, what are the structures present in it, what are the functions of it, we have seen. The nickname of the nucleus you know very well, it's the brain of a cell. And then we have had a brief introduction about cell organelles. What is it, definition we have seen, and then now we will get into the cell organelles one by one. The first cell organelle, we are going to discuss about 6 organelles. The first and then most important one is endoplasmic reticulum. Endo means within, plasmic means plasma membrane, reticulum means network. Means within the plasma membrane a network like structure is present, not within the nucleus. Within the nucleus the network like structure is called, yes, able to recall? Within the nucleus the network like structure is called, very good, chromosomes made up of DNA. But here within the cell the network like structure which is called endoplasmic reticulum, in short called ER. So what are the salient features or characteristics of ER, endoplasmic reticulum? It's a network of membrane bound tubes and sheets. Means endoplasmic reticulum will have two different shapes. One is tube like, another one sheet like. Sheet means plate like. And then it looks like tubules, plates, round or bags, oval shaped bags. And then there are two different types of endoplasmic reticulum are found in plant and as well as animal cells. It's found both in plant and animal cells. And then two types are there. What are they? One is rough endoplasmic reticulum, another one is smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Why are they divided into two types? Rough endoplasmic reticulum, the endoplasmic reticulum, on its surface there are different types of protein synthesizing ribosomes present. But the same ribosomes are absent in smooth endoplasmic reticulum. That is why there are of two different types, rough endoplasmic reticulum and a smooth endoplasmic reticulum. What are the basic functions? Already I told endoplasmic reticulum, rough endoplasmic and smooth. Rough contains ribosomes. Ribosomes go for producing proteins. Now you see the functions. They produce fat molecules and proteins. Protein synthesis is taking place in endoplasmic reticulum. Simultaneously lipid is also, or fat molecules are also secreted by them, and then they involve in biogenesis. This is one of the most important bioprocesses happening in the cell. What is biogenesis? The process of building the cell membrane using proteins and fat molecule is known as biogenesis. Bio means living, genesis means production or synthesis. So synthesis of new parts of the cell which takes place in endoplasmic reticulum. Say for example a particular organelle is dead, because all living things have definite lifespan. They die, and when they die they have to be replaced. So like that, replacement is by means of new synthesis. That new synthesis is taken care by endoplasmic reticulum. So they synthesize, apart from fat molecules and proteins, they are also involved in synthesizing of enzymes, hormones, etc. And then they are very firmly fixed with plasma membrane and nucleus. It means they connect the plasma membrane with the nucleus. These are some of the basic characteristics of endoplasmic reticulum. Now I told you already, two types are there, and how are they different from each other? Already I narrated you, but again, once again we will go through it in distinct way. So two types are the rough endoplasmic reticulum. Their surface will be rough in nature, and the roughness is because of presence of ribosomes. Ribosomes are called protein factories. They produce protein molecules. And then second type is smooth endoplasmic reticulum. They look very smooth under microscopic view, and they have no ribosomes at all. It means smooth endoplasmic reticulum will not go for producing protein. Rough endoplasmic reticulum only involves in protein synthesis. Now this is the structure. You see how the smooth endoplasmic reticulum and rough endoplasmic reticulum are looking. Now these small dots which are found on the rough endoplasmic reticulum, these dots are called ribosomes. They are called protein factories. See, we will proceed further. What is shown in the red color is nucleolus and what is shown in the blue color is nucleus. So, it connects nucleus with the plasma membrane. Already in characteristics we have discussed about it. Now, second most important cell organelle, that is called Golgi apparatus. Many names are, almost all the names are new to you, so you may find it difficult, but repeatedly when you pronounce, you can get into that. So why these Golgi apparatus are named like this? Because this was discovered by a person called Camillo Golgi, and that is the reason. So these apparatus or these organelles are named after him. And then these are also similar to that of endoplasmic reticulum, membrane bound structures, but these membrane bound structures are in the form of pouches, bags. So these pouches or bags have another name, cisterns. You needless to memorize this, but just to know it. Knowledge is power. Let us learn more and more, and then that is why these informations are given to you. So they are oval shaped bags. These bags are called cisterns. Now what are the basic functions of Golgi apparatus? Golgi apparatus go for producing sugar. Which sugar? Complex sugar. Complex sugar like cellulose in plants, starch in plants as well as in animals. Okay, so such type of sugars are produced. From where they produce? They produce from simple sugar. And apart from that, they go for storing, modifying and packaging the products of endoplasmic reticulum in vesicles. So what is it, sir? Say for example, if you get into a biscuit industry, firstly the dough which will be made into biscuits after baking, after that biscuits will be aligned in a machine and then they will be put in the packet and packaged, and after the packing of the biscuits, all different biscuit packets will be packed in cartons. How this process is done, means packaging work is done. Similar to that, endoplasmic reticulum go for producing proteins, fat materials. We have already learned about that. All those materials will be supplied to Golgi complex. Golgi complex collect them, they store them, and then they pack them in the form of vesicles. Vesicles means pouches, bags. That is why Golgi apparatus are in the form of bags or membrane bound vesicles. And they are involved in formation of lysosomes. Lysosomes are one of the most important cell organelles. About that we will see in the successive classes. Golgi apparatus, look at that structure. The right side, the diagram, here, this diagram, here this is nucleus, this one is nucleus, and these are all endoplasmic reticulum. This red one is called Golgi complex. The same red one is drawn here or enlarged and then shown for your better understanding. Golgi apparatus. Structure you see, plate like they are gold means globular in shaped, and then they are connected with each other, right? And they are called Golgi apparatus. They mainly store proteins, fat materials, etc., which are produced by endoplasmic reticulum. Now, third organelle, lysosome. What are these lysosomes? Basically called suicide bags. Why are they called suicide bags? We will see. And the cell features of lysosome, they are found only in animal cell. Remember, the first endoplasmic reticulum, second Golgi complex are found both in plants and animal cells, but lysosomes found only in animal cells. That we have already seen in differences between plant and animal cell. Now, these lysosomes are called suicide bags. Why? Because they break the foreign materials like bacteria, food, which enter inside the body, and then when they enter inside the body, entered into our cells also. Once they are entering into the cell which are unwanted, then they will be broken into pieces, small pieces. They will be shattered into pieces. So that is why these are called lysosomes. Why these are called suicidal bags? And then why we call them as suicidal bags? Because these are filled with lots of digestive enzymes. With that digestive enzyme, they bounce on these foreign materials and then break their wall and then pour their enzymes over that food particles or bacteria and kill them or destruct them or make them into small pieces. That's the reason they are called suicide bags, because they kill them to digest the foreign materials. and they are also looking like basically oval shaped structures. So what are the basic functions? Already I told, they go for digesting the foreign particles and they digest foreign bodies. When a cell gets damaged, lysosomes may burst and then the enzymes digest their own cell. The enzymes which are filled in the lysosomes go for digesting their own cell. So that way lysosomes are called like this. Now the right side you look at, this diagram is the diagram of an animal cell, the complete structure, the diagram of an animal cell, and that animal cell in that one particular portion which is enlarged and shown, and this is called lysosome. Sorry, here name is wrongly given. It's not Golgi apparatus, it is lysosome. Okay, downside the name is wrongly given. It's a manual error from our end, but top it is clearly given lysosome. That is correct. Now the fourth important cell organelle, mitochondria. Mitochondria are called powerhouses of cell. These nicknames please you remember, okay, because mostly in entrance tests and different examination nicknames are given and you have to identify the organelle, like that it comes. Say the brain of the cell, nucleus, suicide bags, lysosomes. Now the powerhouses of the cell, mitochondria, like that you have to remember. And this one was first discovered by Alban von Kolliker in the year 1857, and it is known as powerhouses of cell. Why? Because the energy required for various activities which are taking place within the cell or any life form, which is released in the form of ATP by mitochondria. So now ATP, a new term is being introduced. What are these ATP? ATPs are called energy currencies of cell. It means when you go to a market, you want to purchase something, we give money and then procure the materials. Similarly, when we want energy, then these ATPs are energy rich molecules. These ATP are spent. I am talking to you now, I am shaking my hands, I undergo different types of movements. All these actions are supported by energy. What? That energy in which form? That energy in ATP form. That ATP is known as adenosine triphosphate. It is a kind of biochemical compound secreted and synthesized within our body, also all living organisms, and they act as energy currencies. If ATPs are not there, we become dead and our action cannot be there at all. Our motion cannot be there at all. We can't talk, we can't do any function. Any source of function, whether it is a digestion or locomotion or heart pumping the blood, all sorts of like that, plenty of actions taking place. Even plant growth and development, size is increasing, all actions are being supported by ATP. So that way the ATP, which are called energy currencies of cell, are produced by mitochondria. That is why mitochondria are nicknamed as powerhouses of the cell. And these mitochondria are also membrane bound vesicles. They are also oval shaped bags and they contain two membranes, outer membrane and inner membrane. The outer membrane is very smooth and then lots of holes, like nuclear membrane we have seen, lots of pores were there which are called nuclear pores. Similarly here also different holes are present in the outer membrane. And then inner membrane which are highly folded. When you look at that structure, definitely you will come to know what is that outer membrane, how is that inner membrane. Sorry. So basically the function of mitochondria is production of ATP. Now you see the structure, you see, 1 minute, sorry, so you see the structure here. This one is the outer membrane, the brown one, which is smooth and lots of small tiny holes present, which are not distinctly visible in the diagram. But the inner membrane you see, which are folded like this folded, no? Like this folded, no? So these folded structures are inner membranes, because in that folded structures only ATP is produced. And remember, mitochondrion singular, mitochondria plural, and this mitochondrion basically contains nuclear material. DNA is also present in mitochondria. Apart from nucleus, an organelle contains DNA. You can take the name of mitochondria. One more is there, that is chloroplast. We will see in the next one. So this is about mitochondria. So next comes fifth most important cell organelle, plastids. So basically plastids are discovered by Ernest Haeckel, and found only in plant cells. So far we have discussed different types of cell organelles. In that, one organelle we have seen found only in animal cell. What is it? Yeah, very good. That is lysosome. So now these plastids found only in plant cells, which are absolutely absent in animal cells. And these plastids are involved in production of food. So they are called kitchens of the cell. So many nicknames I am sharing with you. Why these nicknames? Already I mentioned, by the nickname only, in number of entrance tests and then different kinds of competitive examinations, they will test you. They will not ask the question directly. Describe about the structure of kitchen of cell. So when you don't know kitchen of cell is chloroplast, you will not be able to describe, right? That is the reason. So that's the reason that nicknames are being shared. So why they are called kitchen of the cell? Because the energy required for plants are produced through a process called photosynthesis using chlorophyll in these plastids. That is why they are called kitchen of the cell. Basically, plastids are two different types. One is called chromoplast, another one is called leucoplast. So now again new terminologies are coming, but which are very simple. Chromo means color, plast means plastids. The colored plastids which are present in plants are called chromoplastids. Okay, chromosomes, we have seen colored structures, colored bodies. Similarly, chromoplasts. Chromoplast means colored plastids. Best example, chloroplasts. Basically, chromoplasts contain chlorophyll pigments. They perform photosynthesis and produce food. The food here is called starch. Then second one is leucoplast. Leuco means what? Colorless. So colored plastids, colorless plastids. Colored plastids are called chromoplasts. Colorless plastids are called leucoplasts. So leucoplasts are three types. What are they? Amyloplasts, elaioplasts, proteinoplasts. Repeat again. Amyloplasts, elaioplasts, proteinoplasts. Now you pronounce with me now. Amyloplasts, elaioplasts, proteinoplasts. So why are they named differently? Leucoplast commonly we can call and then leave, no? Why we have different names for that? Because they have different functions, so different names. Amyloplasts, they are larger in size and they go for storing only starch. Amyloplasts will always store starch. Remember, again, this important one more question. Elaioplasts store only fat materials. Proteinoplasts only store proteins. It's easy, no? Proteinoplasts, protein itself, the name itself is there. So easy. Elaio means fat storing structure. So elaioplast means they store fat materials. So that way you can differentiate. Amyloplasts store starch. Elaioplasts store fats. Proteinoplasts store proteins. The structure classification you see. Plastids. The plastids are divided into two parts, chromoplasts and leucoplasts. The chromoplasts, where the example is chloroplast. Leucoplasts, there are three different examples, amyloplasts, elaioplasts, proteinoplasts. Among these three, which one stores starch? Yes. So amyloplast stores starch. So which one stores fat materials? Good. Elaioplast. So remember that. Yeah. Chloroplast structure, just for your idea, which is not in our text, but lots of information, extra information which are given here, mainly keeping in mind that you prepare well, so that will help you not only for our local examinations, not only our home examinations, also your entrance tests and other different types of competitive examination. That's why these materials are being shared with you. Carefully see the structure. Double membranes are present and inside something is one over another, like a stack which is arranged. They are called thylakoids. Individual units are called thylakoids, all together called granum. These are just for your idea. And these grana which are there in 4 grana are shown here, which are connected with some thread like structures, they are called lamella. It's for idea. Just to remember kitchens of the cell. Now the last part of the chapter and then last cell organelle, vacuoles, also known as tonoplast. Tonoplast is another name for vacuoles. So what are the basic structures? What are these basic characteristics of it? and then structure of it we are going to learn here. Already I told in the plant cell, when you go through the first slide, first video, in that when we described about plant cell, when the diagram was shown, I have just shown the vacuole structure, which is responsible for floating of a large wood in the water. Remember? Yeah. So recall that one. Now let us see the basic salient features or characteristics of the vacuoles. Vacuoles are mostly present in plant cells, and they are very very big in plant cells. In some plants you can find about 90% of the cell size is only vacuole. So that much huge structured vacuoles are also there in plant cells. They are rarely present in animals. If at all they are present in animal cells, they are very 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 small, tiny. That's the reason that when we jump into water, immediately we drown, no? Because our body becomes heavier. But a wood log which is heavier, but it floats because of the vacuoles present in it. And then it's a storage sac of organism. Basically vacuoles are storage sacs of organisms. So what do they store? Basically they store amino acids, sugar, organic acids, protein, fat materials, etc. So let's see the functions of them. Basically they are responsible for providing the structure, and then both turgid as well as rigid structure to the cell. Because say imagine some 60-70% of the size of the vacuole which is present in a plant cell, the plant cell will have a plumpy structure, no, like a balloon. That is called what? Turgidity. And rigidity means strength is being provided by them, right? Now all important substances, what are these all important substances? Third point you read, the amino acids are given, sugar, organic acids, proteins, and apart from that fat materials. All these things are kept stored in them. That's the reason that vacuoles are called storage sacs of organisms. And in case of amoeba, which is a microscopic structure, a prokaryotic organism, but in that you can find that these vacuoles are present in the form of food. It means food is stored, food is digested, food is extracted with energy. After that waste materials are released. So that all functions are done by the vacuoles only, like our digestive tract. The vacuoles in amoeba act like our digestive tract. So that structure is called food vacuoles, and they also help in releasing wastes in microorganism. Different types of wastes may be produced in organism, they are all released. So now you carefully see the tonoplast or vacuole is given. This large structure, this balloon like structure is called vacuole, which is a storage sac. And then this large sized structure is collected from where you see again the cell, a plant cell is provided. In that plant cell here is there, na? This is called that vacuole, and that vacuole is shown here in large scale, enlarged way you are shown. So here comes the whole chapter and end the fundamental unit of life. And then these 6 different organelles whatever we have discussed in today's class are more important. Go through them, take your own time, and from that mostly you are going to get questions, right? So this syllabus being included for our forthcoming periodic test 2. So all the best, dear children. Go through it repeatedly. This material you download and repeatedly go through. That is why in that form we are giving. We are not going for live classes. Instead we are giving you prepared classes so that multiple times you can go for it. But every time please go for write and practice. There are new terminologies. Repeatedly you recall and remember, and then go for writing and then finding their spellings written correctly. So all the best.